escalated to the point where I was putting a large Ziploc bag over his head and taping it around his neck with black duct tape, black electrical tape, and raping and molesting him at that point, to the point that he would turn blue, pass out. When I seen him pass out and change colors, that was very arousing and heightening to me, and I would rip the bag off his head, and then I'd jump up on his chest and I'd masturbate in his face and make him suck my penis.
What do you want the world to know about you?
The world has been fed many lies about me. I have read very few truths.
Who are you?
Just a guy. Just a guy. That is all I care to say, really.
Did you kill 13 people?
It would be improper for me to comment on my LA convictions and on my pending case here in San Francisco.
Why?
Because of my appeals.
Are you appealing these because you say you're innocent? You didn't kill 13 people?
That is correct.
You didn't kill 13 people?
Again, it would be improper for me to comment in any regard to that question.
You have now entered a very rare group of people in this country. You're in the ranks of Charlie Manson, Ted Bundy. You claim you didn't commit these murders, but you're right in there now as far as everybody else is concerned.
Serial killers do on a small scale what governments do on a large one. They are a product of the times, and these are bloodthirsty times. Even psychopaths have emotions if you dig deep enough, but then again, maybe they don't.
Do you have emotions, Richard?
No comment.
Tell me what kind of emotions you got going through you right now.
I'll tell you what, I gave up on love and happiness a long time ago.
Why?
I don't care to explain that.
Somebody-
Let the quote stand for itself.
What was it, Jeff, that took you over the edge, do you think, and made you take this from the world of fantasy into reality?
From 15 on, I had this reoccurring fantasy of meeting a hitchhiker on the road and of taking them hostage and doing what I wanted. About 3 years later, I was 18 years old, driving home. I saw this hitchhiker about a mile from my house. Thought to myself, should I stop and pick him up, or should I just keep on going? I wish I just kept on going, but I didn't. Turned around, picked him up, and that's when the nightmare became a reality.
What do you mean they lied? They lied so bad to you all.
But you've been convicted of killing 7 men.
Everybody's looking at the number.
Does that not... You killed 7 men, 7 strangers. Does that not make you a serial killer?
So I didn't kill them every day, did I? Did I go out there every day and say, I'm going to kill? If I did, there would be hundreds.
Well, no, it took you 12 months.
Yeah. And that's a hell of a lot of men I went through before the next jerk came along and I used protection.
Forever. I'm going to remember that night for the rest of my life, whether I want to or not. I don't think I was very lucky. I think my kids were lucky. If I had been shot the way they were, we all would have died. You can't replace children, but you can replace the effect that they give you. And they give me love, they give me satisfaction, they give me stability. They give me a reason to live and a reason to be happy, and that's gone. They took it from me. But children are so easy to conceive.
you killed her, you went back later to see the body. Is that right?
No, I went back to clean up.
She was found with her head removed.
That's right.
How did that happen?
Easy, just pick it up and move it.
What, you just pull the head off?
Yeah, it was already off. That was a fit of anger. You know, we spent a day down Turning Point Park, you know, feeding the ducks and walking around and we were making out. And then she just flipped, you know, jumped up, says, I'm going to scream, I'm going to tell the cops. I snapped her neck. Stayed there all day until dark. Then split her open from her neck to her groin. I didn't go all the way deep into the stomach area, just split her open. I don't know why.
What did your mother do?
My mother gave me oral sex. She performed oral sex on me for several years.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I was 14 years old, I did intercourse and I ran away. I put a note on my pillow in my bedroom. I'm going to Syracuse, and I turned around and went to Canada. I just didn't want to go home.
Because you were being abused?
Yes, sir, I was.
All the victims, all of them, you know, and you're talking about a lot of them, a lot. A lot of lives just gone right down the tubes because of me. You know, in one way or another. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling. I'm not proud of anything I've done. And the worst thing is I don't understand why. I don't understand why.
It may disturb you to know that some serial killers have hobbies. In the case of Todd Kohlhepp, that hobby was reviewing Amazon products. He left reviews on things like shovels and tasers and gun accessories, and I'm going to let you guess what he used those for. One review said, solid locks, have 5 on a shipping container, won't stop them but sure will slow them down till they're too old to care. His last and only surviving victim was found locked in a shipping container on his property. She had been shown the graves of his other victims to keep her in line. He also left a review for a shovel, which said, keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home. Does not come with a midget, which would be nice. I don't really get what he was going for with that last line, but the man was a psychopath, who was apparently a big fan of Amazon Prime.
There's a story about this guy named Daniel LaPlante. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. This happened in 1987, and it was in Massachusetts. But this dude, growing up, a lot of people, even at school and shit, they would all call him weird, like because of just, I guess, the way he was, you know what I mean? Like, he just didn't do what normal kids did at the time. Yeah. I don't know. And I guess he smelled weird, so they would all make fun of him and shit like that. Boy. Yeah. So they would just make fun of him for shit like that, right? It just affected him to the next growing up, you know what I mean? So even as he got older, like when he was in high school and whatnot, like once he started getting to high school, he started to change a little bit from being just like, okay, like interested in, let's say, like bugs or whatever, just hella shit that people thought were weird at the time. He started getting more interested in killing shit. Mm-hmm. And so once he got older, eventually at this time, I don't even know why, bro, for some reason, this one day, bro, he goes to this lady's house, and I forgot her last name, but her name was Priscilla. He goes to her house this one night, finds a way to get in, and she was pregnant at the time, and he just started like beating the fuck out of her, and he SA'd her, you know, all this crazy shit. And then after he was
pregnant lady?
Yeah,
what
bro.
A weirdo.
I know, bro, sick. And then after he was done, he just like shot her in the face like 5 times.
Damn.
From point blank range, like hella close up, you know. And then after that, he heard like kids screaming in the room, so he was like, uh-oh, I gotta go handle that.
Yeah.
So he goes upstairs and he drowns both of her kids in the bathtub.
Holy fuck.
In individual bathtubs. So then after that happens, bruh, he goes on the run. He's like, fuck, bro, like, you know, I just started some crazy shit. Like, everybody, the story gets picked up. Everybody starts talking about it, right? In the town and shit like that. So eventually it damn near becomes worldwide. Everybody's talking about it. So dude's like, fuck, bro, there's damn near nowhere I can go. So when he's on the run, bruh, this is so strange and you're not even gonna believe me. The cops end up finding dude in his ex-girlfriend's house. But look, the weirdest part about it is she didn't know he was there.
He was hiding.
Bro, he was hiding, right? So I guess like this one night when he was on
This old lady killed so many people. Baba Anushka, she loved chemistry. And when her husband died, she was like, I'm gonna make the house into a laboratory and sell potions. So a bunch of girls came to her and they were like, we don't want our husbands to go to war. And she was like, I can make them really, really sick so they don't have to. And they were like, yeah, do that. So she started getting really, really popular. But then all the girls were like, we actually don't like our husbands. Can you do a little more? And Baba Anushka was like, yeah, I can kill them. So then all the girls were like, oh, we like this. So Baba Anushka made these deadly potions, gave them to the girls gave them to their abusive husbands, and they were dead in like 8 days. And Baba Anushka would do this thing where she'd ask the girls, how heavy is the problem? Which was code for, how heavy is your husband? Because I gotta make sure I put enough in it, mama. She was so successful that she hired a sales agent to go into town and like sniff out people with marital problems. But this one girl fucked it all up. After she killed her shitty husband, she used another potion to kill her new husband's rich uncle. And the police were like, can you explain this? And she was like, it was Baba Anushka. Baba Anushka was like, are you fucking kidding me? But she ended up getting out of jail and then living to
Me? This is where the dungeon is. Open it all the way. Holy shit! God.
Do you ever feel violent?
Yes, I do.
What do you feel like doing?
Killing people.
You still feel like killing people?
Yes.
Think it murder me, Joe?
Yes.
That's gruesome, Joe. That's horrible.
Yes, it is.
You don't blame me if I say I hope you never get out of this place.
I hope I never do either.
One of the most insane serial killers I have ever learned about, I still to this day believe didn't work alone. So you guys know Jack the Ripper, right? Well, this guy not only outlasted and outdid him, but he put New York in one of the biggest states of fear and taunted investigators for years. Before we get into who he is and why I don't think he acted alone, let's talk about what he did. The first kill he ever made was stabbing 2 young girls on Christmas Eve of 1975. At this time, New York was in absolute shambles. People were being killed and assaulted all the time. Robberies were happening, bodies were being found, and the police really couldn't keep up with everything, so whenever this happened, it wasn't like a big news headliner. Well, a few months later, 2 girls were shot sitting in their car. Both of them ended up surviving, but it happened so fast that they didn't have any information on the suspect. Just some .44 caliber bullets left on scene. Well, the next attack occurred whenever this couple was sitting in a car. They reported that the whole car felt like it exploded, and the girl looked over and saw a bullet wound in the guy's head. Because of the bullets used, the police were able to make the connections.